Good morning. I see people are still filtering in. Don't be shy, come on in, find a seat. We are so glad that you are here. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, her, or they, them. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. It is wonderful to be together here, and we are thankful. We have gathered today on the lands of the Adena, the Hopewell, the Wyandot, the Miami, the Seneca, and the Cayuga peoples. Let us pause together in silence to honor their connection to the land we call Central Ohio. Thank you. Every Sunday in April, our worship services will explore the theme, Awakening. We look forward to exploring this theme deeply together. Our opening song is "This Is My Song." The words were written in 1934 by Lloyd Stone as a prayer for peace that became known internationally. The familiar tune is Finlandia by Sibelius, which became an anthem of the movement to free Finland from Russia in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Now let us sing. The words will be on the screen and are number 159 in your gray hymnal. Please rise, but keep your masks on as Steve Molk leads us in song.
Thank you all and welcome. I'm Reverend Dr. Marion Stewart. It is my pleasure to serve this congregation as senior minister. My pronouns are she, her. I invite Amanda to give us our welcome for this morning, and Kelly McNeil, our congregational life coordinator or director, is out in the welcome hall, so maybe you saw her this morning too. If you're visiting with us, make sure you check in. Amanda?
Good morning. As Reverend Marion said, I'm Amanda Hayes, your Justice Coordinator, and my pronouns are she, her. Whether you're a visitor or have been calling First UU home for some time now, we are so glad to have you here with us this morning. Please let us know that you're here, either physically or virtually, by filling out our check-in form. You can access that sign-in form, as well as today's order of service and our joys and sorrows and the donation page for the offering by scanning the QR code on the screen or visiting firstucolumbus.org/Sunday. We have got tons of great stuff going on here at the church, and you can find out more by joining our email list. But here are a couple of highlights. First, I was totally blown away by how we all showed up for voter registration in March. Whether you texted a friend to remind them to check their voter registration or signed up for a shift or made a sign, thank you. First UUers alone quickly signed up for 24 hours worth of shifts over 1 week at libraries around Columbus. Yes. And it really paid off because together with the League of Women Voters, we helped 120 people register and talked with over 2,000 people about voting. Yay! Thank you all. We also have a really exciting justice opportunity coming up. Sukkot Shalom, the Jewish faith community that meets here with us in our building, is planning an interfaith action to combat climate change with Jews and allies across the country, and they've invited First UU to partner with them. On April 19th at noon at the Chase Plaza downtown, we will hold a street Seder. Throughout the Passover story, we will hold the #1 investor in fossil fuels accountable for investing in the health of our world. Find out more at the Jam Table and in Friday News. And finally, watch for stewardship materials coming soon in the mail. And one last thing, a credit card has been found. So if you have lost a credit card and you think you might have lost it here, please see Reverend Marion after the service. Welcome again to this morning's service. Let us center ourselves as we listen to this morning's prelude.
Thank you, Nathan. Good morning, if you're in person and also if you're online. If you're online, I invite you to bring your candle or chalice close so that we can light our chalice together. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from one of my dear friends and colleagues, the Reverend Deborah Falk. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundations of freedom, reason, and welcome, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that envisions a world flourishing with equality for all people, a faith that demands the living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is a symbol of the spark of all that is within us. Our chalice is lit.
Greetings, beloveds. Gather round. It is story time. Activities for families with children are happening during the worship service today. After the story, you will have the opportunity to join our other families if you are interested. Today's story is called The Cello of Mr. O, written by Jane Cutter and illustrated by Greg Couch. We are surrounded and under attack. My father and most of the other fathers, older brothers, and even some grandfathers have gone to fight. So we stay, the old, the sick, women and children, managing as best we can. At night, when I see the trails and flashes of missiles, I pretend I am watching shooting stars. I am afraid almost all the time. Our streets are littered with debris. We collect rainwater and fill up containers at the distribution center. People carry heavy containers of water in shopping carts, wheelbarrows, sleds, and wheelchairs. Every Wednesday at 4, the relief truck visits our square. We wait in line for soap, cooking oil, canned fish, and flour. If things don't change by wintertime, we'll have to burn our books and furniture to keep warm. Many people have left. Some have no place else to go. Others have decided to stay no matter what. Mama can't stand the idea of Papa coming back to nothing. This is not the first time in history such a thing has happened, she tells me. It may not be the first time it has happened, but it is the first time it has happened to me. I'm angry almost all the time. Us kids stay home, inside our apartment building, usually under the stairs. We play cards and word games, read books, draw, talk. We imagine what we would have if we could eat whatever we wanted. Sometimes we run through the halls, laughing and making noise. Mr. O flings open his door. "Quiet, you kids," he shouts, as if kids were a bad thing. When the relief truck comes, everyone goes. It feels like a party, being outside with so many people. Even Mr. O stands in line. But he doesn't chat. He just waits, looking away. "A thinker," my mother says. "A thinker," Maria repeats in a mocking tone. He's just being unfriendly. Whenever the kids find a paper bag, we blow it up with air and then pop it right outside his apartment door. It sounds like a shell exploding. We laugh and run away. When he's not waiting in line for supplies, Mr. O plays his cello. My father told me it's a fine cello, one of the best. The front and the back were carved of German fiddleback maple, hand-rubbed with polish made in France. The neck was made of mahogany from Honduras, and the fingerboard is ebony from Ceylon. The bow was carved out of soft wood that grows in Brazil, and the ivory tip came from Africa. People all over the world had to cooperate to make the cello of Mr. O, my father said. When Mr. O was young, he traveled around the world, playing his cello in great halls for hundreds of people who cheered and threw flowers. If my father knew about the paper bags, he would be angry. But Papa is far away, and we have no idea when we will see him again. It's 4 o'clock on a dull Wednesday. Elena and I are playing jacks under the stairs and hear the supply truck roar up. For once, we don't rush outside. We hear people leaving their apartments talking and laughing. Then we hear the rocket hit. People we know are badly hurt. The truck is destroyed. Now supplies will not be brought here. We will have to walk for miles to get anything, and nothing will make even one day a week better than the others. The first Wednesday after the rocket, at exactly 4 o'clock, Mr. O appears dressed up, carrying his cello and a chair. He marches to the center of the square where everyone can see him. He sets up his chair, takes out his cello, tightens his horsehair bow, and rubs it with rosin. He takes a deep breath and plays. The music of Bach, Mama tells me, her face shining as we listen to the complicated, powerful, reassuring music. He plays as if he were on stage in a grand hall, playing for people who throw flowers, not as if he is alone in the square of a besieged city where no relief truck will come. "They'll kill him," Maria cries. "They would not bother to kill an old man playing a cello," says Mama. I am not so sure. The music makes us feel less angry, and his courage makes us less afraid. It feeds us as truly as the relief truck, which could be reason enough for them to stop the music. Every day at 4 o'clock, he appears. One day, while playing, Mr. O gets a leg cramp. He leans the cello against his chair and hobbles away, stretching. Suddenly, the square is filled with explosions. When the smoke clears, Mr. O is unharmed, but all that remains of his cello is splintered wood and tangled strings. What will feed us now? I find a crumpled brown paper bag the next day. I smooth it out as best I can and put it under Papa's dictionary overnight. In the morning, I choose my best crayons, now just stubs. Still, I have many colors. Carefully, I draw. I draw Mr. O in his dark suit, sitting on a chair, playing a cello, with bright flowers falling all around him. Then I tiptoe up to Mr. O's apartment. Quietly, I slip the picture underneath the door and run. To everyone's surprise, at 4 o'clock, out comes Mr. O carrying a chair. Seeing me at my window, he bows to me and smiles. From his coat pocket, he draws a shiny harmonica. From then on, for 1 hour every day, Mr. O sits in the square and plays his harmonica. The melodies sound sad, sweet, and small, very different from the grand songs of the cello. It is Bach, nevertheless, Mama says. The music makes us feel happy, and the courage of Mr. O makes us less afraid. The end. In this story, a courageous musician offers his neighbors connection, sustenance, and hope through music. Let us consider the many gifts we can offer, large or small, in our continued support of the Ukrainian people and of peace. Thank you. Families who would like to participate in outdoor Sunday school are now invited to head towards the playground.
If you would like to participate in this morning's carry meditation by submitting your joys and sorrows, I invite you now to scan the QR code on the screen or go to firstuu.org/Sunday and you'll see a link for our joys and sorrows. If you fill out a card in the next few moments, we will announce your joy or sorrow shortly. And beware, we have a short turnaround this morning as we flip some of the elements in today's service. So I invite you to get in your joys and sorrows now. You can also request care for during the week, and you can submit caring cards if you would like for this congregation to send a caring card to someone. Sharing our joys and sorrows and supporting one another is only one way that we, as a community, lift each other up and hold all that is in our hearts.
Our very special music this morning is offered by one of our awesome youth, Jeremy Dunn. Jeremy is the son of Julie DeHig and Brian Hegman. Jeremy. Take us away.
Good morning. I am Sylvia Howe, and this is Pat Snyder. We are today's pastoral listeners. If you have a care or a concern or just want to talk, we're available after the service. To begin our time of community caring, I offer a meditation from Reverend Kathleen McTeague. This is a house of peace. Breathe in a grateful breath that you sit here in this moment of your life, safely and in silence. There is a war raging far from this place of comfort. We know it is there. We know our siblings and cousins suffer its poisonous touch. Our hearts are weighted with what we cannot resolve. So here we lift a banner in our own souls and remember that in this place, in this moment, we are not at war. Breathe in the truth of this moment. Here is our strength, our deep well of courage. Breathing in, we rest our spirits. Breathing out, we pray for peace. May those in harm's way be safe for another day. May those who drive the engines of power be awakened by compassion. May we all hold the cup filled with courage and will that has been carried by peacemakers in long ages before us. May we drink of it deeply and be steadfast in other ways of peace. I invite you to breathe in. We lift up prayers for peace, for the safety of all Ukrainian people. We lift up prayers for the children, the families, the refugees, the fighters, the leaders. Here at home, we lift up prayers for those on the LGBTQ rainbow who are front line in the throes of our politics. And we lift up those who strive to be visible, this past week celebrating trans visibility now and always. Amen. Our condolences to the family of David P., longtime member of First UU. Dave passed away recently. Please send healing thoughts, energy, or prayers to Steve Y. He is a friend of Linda and has had a recurrence of an aggressive blood cancer. We share our sorrow with the family of Bernice W., longtime First U member who died this last week. Her husband, Chuck, and their 3 sons were by her side. A celebration of her life was held yesterday in this packed sanctuary. We send healing thoughts to Kitty P.H. On March 29th, she had a hip replacement due to necrotic bone from her previous injury, a fall in the ice a year ago. Please hold Nina L. in your hearts. She suffered a stroke on March 26th. We send healing thoughts to Ron R. He was, I believe he is home now, I'm not quite sure. He was in the hospital for test because of extreme weakness and brain fog on Thursday. And then he was tested positive for COVID. Alice has been staying with him, but she had her own COVID test this week and was negative. Ron feels fortunate that he was not ill for his 85th birthday celebration last week, with all his 3 kids here from Maryland and Pennsylvania, and a grandson and fiancé from Nashville. Congratulations to Meg McGuire, daughter of Deb and Michael. Meg has completed her ministerial training at Star King School for the Ministry and was welcomed into preliminary fellowship by the Unitarian Universalist Association in March. Another colleague to welcome into our fold. And another person who entered the ministry from this church. Starting in August, Meg will be a chaplain resident at OSU Wexner Medical Center. Meg and her fiancé, Paige, are moving to Columbus in May. We encourage you to visit the caring table in Beach Hall after the service to sign caring cards, whether or not you know the person. This long-time tradition of signing cards is an important outreach to members and friends, even if there are no cards to sign, and there are a lot today. You can stop and say hello to our volunteers. Are you going to read the next ones? These are the ones that have just come in. Oh, you don't have it? Okay. Technology. Sarah H.P., sending love and sympathies and prayers for healing to all those affected by the shooting in Sacramento early this morning. I was not aware of that. May we hold these joys and sorrows and those yet unspoken gently in our hearts. As I ring our temple bell, I invite you into a brief time of silence. Use this time to reflect, imagine, pray, or simply breathe in and out as you are in this beloved community.
My, our hearts just keep getting bigger and bigger as we hold all that we are and all that we experience. Joseph Campbell, American writer and professor of comparative mythology and religion, wrote this: "People say that what we're all seeking is a meaning for life. I don't think that's what we're really seeking, though. I think what we're seeking is an experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on the purely physical plane have resonances with our own innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive." What we're really seeking is the experience, the rapture of being alive, of our insides and our outsides actually matching, in alignment, connected, meaning. I was sound asleep, off in dreamland this morning, snoozing away. Then it happened. Ding, 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 ding. The sharp 10 trill of my alarm clock blurted out on the bedstand. Ding, ding, ding. Wait, what is that? What? Ding, ding. My arm just kind of slapped over towards the smartphone, trying to slap at the offending noise to make it be quiet. Ding, ding, ding. Thwop, thwop. Ah, finally, I did it. It got quiet. Toss my arm back under the cover. Sleep resumes. 7 minutes. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, that alarm clock goes off again. Ding, ding, ding. I start thwopping at it again. More precise this time. Thwop. Got it. Back to sleep. 7 more minutes. Ding, ding, ding. The routine continues. Repeat again. Then waking from a particularly hard sleep. There was a lot going on yesterday. I rub my eyes, sit up. All right already. Have you ever been there? I pick up this smartphone to turn the snooze off. What happened to the quiet electronic rising sun sound that the alarm makes on regular mornings? Not the ones where I have to get up too early, but the regular soothing easing into the day. Phone in hand, I check the headlines. I learned long ago to do this on a Sunday morning. You never know what you need to know before service begins. A Twitter alert was there and it warned me. very sad news. I clicked it open. A Ukrainian photojournalist was killed this morning from the bombs. He was on the front lines paying attention so that we could see. I have been paying attention to the war, and I bet you have been too. I hear the stories, I see the images, and my heart just keeps pounding, and the tears are just right there, sometimes flowing down my cheeks. Another death this morning, upon sitting right up after that very rude alarm. Darn it, I'm awake, all right already. I think about all the times in life where we just muddle through, shrinking our awareness to the immediate challenges and comforts of our particular lives. Gentle alarms of electronic rising suns, not too much, not too little, just enough to ease us into the ordinary day. But some days are hard, and yes, many are easy. Most are somewhat routine. Almost 0 days live up to Campbell's claim that what we want is to feel the rapture of being alive. Thousands of miles away, the war comes to us on the screen, big screen or small screen. And lucky for us, we can also turn it off when it's too much. Sometimes, though, that pesky alarm breaks through. Ding, ding, ding. It's like we need a wake-up call to pay attention. Not the regular version of paying attention, but the really being awake kind of paying attention. If we want to have great joy in our lives, then it comes with being awake to the great tragedies. It's two sides of the coin. To keep it spinning, to keep life going, there must be balance, even if one does seem to tilt the coin in one direction or the other from time to time, threatening collapse. Too often, though, the hard side of life seems to rule the day. Why do you think Unitarian minister Theodore Parker and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. kept talking about when they said the moral arc of history is long, but it bends toward justice? It was a hope, not that we all go silly happy, but a hope that we would wake up and stomp the hell out of this world. Ding, ding, ding. It's time to wake up our compassion, our empathy, our love for what is good. King preached out. He preached that love, only love can drive out darkness. Are we awake? Can we be raptured into the now? Ding, ding, ding. God, that alarm clock keeps going off. But my friends, can we work for peace? At home, goodness knows we need it right here. Pay attention, we need it right here. And we also need it for our fellow human beings that are so far away, fighting for their homeland and the democracy that we all believe in. It's fragile, but it's worth fighting for. Wake up. There is meaning to life, but you have to engage. Wake up. This is beyond words. This is when everything needs to come together so that we are raptured here and now, fully alive, fully awake. because that caring, that compassion, that love that we all have will drive out the darkness. Blessed be, and amen.
We are awake, and we are a beloved community in the making. One of the ways that we help ourselves and our world is by sharing our monetary resources. This sharing of resources as a community means that some of us are just scraping by right now and have already made a great contribution to this community just by being here. And some of us are thriving financially and can challenge ourselves to give more. Our first of 2 offerings this morning will be shared with the Friends of the Lower Olentangy Watershed, aka FLOW, our April Share the Plate recipient. FLOW was formed in 1997 to keep the Olentangy River and its tributaries clean and safe for all to enjoy through public education, volunteer activities, and coordination with local decision makers. FLOW partnered with First UU to make a rain garden along Weisheimer Road, right out there, to demonstrate that protecting our rivers can be both functional and beautiful. Thank you for supporting our efforts to keep our local river healthy. Please use the QR code on the screen or go to our website, firstucolumbus.org/donate, to share as you are able. You may also contribute in person with a credit card at the greeters table as you leave the worship center or at the jam table in Beach Hall. Thanks for your generosity.
I now invite Eric Nessa up, and he will introduce our very special guest today. Eric, good to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's great to see all of you again, and maybe with the pandemic winding down, we'll get to spend more time together. I'm glad that we're in this combined, or I guess I'm running out of words, but I'm glad we're together. I'm here to introduce a very close friend of mine for an important cause. 25 years ago this week, I was part of a benefit for a church in Westerville. I had just graduated from preschool, and one of the participants in the benefit told us about this violinist who had just moved from Ukraine. And she said that he doesn't speak much English, but that his playing was phenomenal. And so we invited him out, and a group of musicians, we're all doing our dress rehearsal, and Arkadiy comes in to do his rehearsal, and all I could think of is that joke about how many musicians does it take to screw in a light bulb? Two, one to play and the other to say, I could have done that. But when he started playing, there were 30 musicians who were in that room who understood that there is no way they could ever emulate that kind of technical superiority and, most importantly, music that comes from the heart. And so it was 25 years ago that I first heard Arkadiy. Ever since then, I cannot get enough of listening to him play. He's been on 2 world tours with Madonna, has played all over the world, all kinds of music. His specialty, the one that's closest to his heart, is klezmer music. And we're so honored, and I don't know why he's here in Columbus, but it sure is a great gift that he is. And when this whole thing with Ukraine started, I texted him and said, do you want to do a benefit? And he said, yes, of course. You read my mind. So we're actually doing a couple things. One is next Saturday at the Dublin Community United Church of Christ, right on 161 Bridge Street in Dublin. It starts at 7 p.m. We don't know yet if it's going to be streamed or not. We're trying to work out some licensing issues. But he's going to be, he's put the program together. We're going to have the Columbus Children's Choir, the Columbus International Children's Choir, some other great musicians, and we hope, of course, you'll attend. If not, we hope that you'll get online and donate some money. So I would just like to introduce to you Arkadiy Gips, and also here with us today is his sister Mira, and Leslie and Eric Williams, who have become very close to Arkadiy as well. So sit back and please enjoy our good friend, Ukrainian violinist Arkadiy Gips.
And before Arkadiy starts playing, I was out in the hallway earlier speaking to the whole group, and Arkadiy said, do you want me to play one song? He's like, could you play 2 or 3? So I don't want to put you on the spot, but play away. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you very much. It was a Ukrainian song, my Ukrainian mother. Actually, it's a symbol of Ukraine for right now. One more song, what I'll do for you, it will be classical, a 5. Ave Maria by Schubert. Thank you.
Oh, you know, some things you could listen to all day. Thank you. What a gift. And I also want to say what a gift to have our young ones enjoying it as well. Thank you so much. Our Board of Trustees has approved a special offering this morning, and we will share it between two funds, both helping the people of Ukraine. Arkadiy's performance, he's performing concerts and special appearances and benefits to help the Ukrainian people. Goodness knows anything we can do is helpful. But he is coming to churches just to help his people. And you're from Kyiv, I believe. Yes, so welcome. So we will, half of our offering right now will go to Arkadiy's church. Here locally, they have a Ukrainian refugee fund. We will send a combined check to that church. And the other half of the offering right now will go to our Transylvanian Unitarian churches. For those of you who know Unitarian history, we are rooted formally in Transylvania way back to the 1500s. The churches there are in a rural area. It used to be in Hungary, now it's in Romania, and they are taking refugees. There is a fund to help our Unitarian churches in Hungary, in Transylvania, and so half our offering will go to support them as well. If you are writing a check, please put Ukraine in the memo line so we make sure it gets separated out this morning. You can also use a QR code. Brian assures me that there's an option there under the donate tab that says Ukraine. So you can do that, or you can let me know that you're sending a check so we can do that too, so Joe can combine it all together and we get it all to the right places in the next week or so. And just because pandemic is kind of ending, we actually have offering baskets. You can do all the other ways, but we have offering baskets too. So, whew. And I didn't ask Nathan to play another song. I'm going to invite you to sing while we pass the offering plate, so you don't have to stand. But this song that we're going to sing is Our World is One World. And it's interesting to note that just like every song in our hymn book has a name for the tune for Our World is One World happens to be, and I have no history on it, but the tune name is Chernobyl. You'll find the words on the screen, but also number 134 in your gray hymn book. And I invite Steve to come up and let us sing as we're filling the offering baskets. Our world is one world.
Is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
We close with the words of Oscar Romero. Peace is not the product of terror or fear. Peace is not the silence of cemeteries. Peace is not the result of violent repression. Peace is the generous, tranquil contribution of all to the good of all. Peace is dynamism. Peace is generosity. It is right and it is a duty.
If you are participating online, I invite you to bring your candle or chalice closer so that we can extinguish our flame together. After the service has concluded, please join us in Beach Hall in-person coffee hour. I understand, oh my gosh, a couple came in this morning and said, "Do you want coffee today?" And I'm like, I think so. I understand there might not be decaf, but hey, we can do the real thing because we're talking about waking up today, right? So we're going to have real coffee, and then you can go to Beach Hall to Jam Table or whatever, sign the carrying cards. We can actually be a community again. So yay, we have some caffeine, so that's good. Whew. If you're online, I invite you to join the online coffee hour with the link that was sent this morning. The link changes every week, but thank you to the archives group for hosting this morning's coffee hour online. Now, I invite everyone everywhere to join me in saying our words together, taken from our vision statement, as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love. Our chalice is extinguished. Please remain seated as Nathan plays our postlude. And again, we look forward to seeing you at coffee hour, whether it's online or in person. And once again, thank you so much for being here this morning. And thank you also to Jeremy. So much. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. This is the day we've been given. Go make it so.